In this lesson, we'll talk about duplication views, and we'll discuss when duplicating views, what types should you use. When you duplicate a view, what types of duplication views are there available to make? Well, you really have three options. One is to duplicate a view and not include any text or annotation. So basically just your Revit model. The second one is you duplicate the view and include the annotation, text, detailing, if you will. And then the third one is to create a duplicate view, but make it dependent upon its parent. So in other words, if something is added or removed to the parent view, that also appears in the secondary view or subview, the one that's a subordinate of the parent. Let's look at creating these three different types of duplicate views. The view I'm looking at right now is the entry-level view, and I can see it's highlighted in the project browser in the lower left. One way to duplicate a view is to simply right-click on the view, hover over Duplicate in the flyout menu, and then I can click Duplicate. But again, here are the three types that you can create. Duplicate creates just a duplicate of the view without any text or detailing or annotation. Duplicate with detailing has all of that other stuff. And the last one, duplicate is dependent, is really the second one, but it's dependent upon its parent. So we'll create an example of all three. Right now, let's just click Duplicate. So what it's going to do, it's going to create a duplicate view. It's going to use the same name, and after the name, it's going to place Copy 1. And I can see that in my project browser in the lower left. So if there were text in this view, the text would not carry over or any other type of detail element. The actual bubbles for your grid lines are not part of that detailing. Hence, that's why we see those. Let's go back to the entry-level plan. Double-click it. Now let's right-click that plan again, go to Duplicate View. This time click Duplicate with Detailing. Here it's going to make a duplicate view and include any detail elements, text, etc. that I create. Again, it's going to name the view the same and place Copy 2 after it. Let's go back to the entry-level view again. This time, let's right-click Duplicate View and choose the third option, Duplicate as Dependent. Again, it's going to create another view, but it's going to place it as a subordinate of the parent view. So if you add text or detailing to this parent view, it will appear in the subordinate view. To see this, double-click on the entry view, zoom in around the actual top of the view, and let's just create some text. So let's go to the Annotate tab. On the Annotate tab on the text panel, click Text. And just click anywhere within the floor plan and type text. I'm just going to type in the word sample. Then when I'm done, click Modify. So I see the word sample in this view. Now let's go to the duplicate view that's a dependent, the one below it in the project browser. Double click it to activate it, and when you zoom in, you actually see there's sample here as well. But if you look at the other two views, Copy 1 and Copy 2, you don't see that information. So in Copy 1, I don't see any annotation at all. I don't see any dimensions. I don't see any text. The only thing you see are the grid lines, but that's part of the actual model. If you go to entry-level Copy 2, you actually see the detailing, for example, the dimension lines, but you don't see the word sample that I added because they're totally separate. They're not dependent upon each other. They're independent. Now you may say, well, why are we duplicating views? Well, when we get to sheets later on, when you place a view within your drawing sheet, you can only place that view once. You can't place it twice, or in other words, on multiple sheets. You have to create a new view. So that could be a case or a reason why you would want to create a new view, and also why you want to make it dependent, if you want the two to stay updated with each other. So in this lesson, we looked at duplicating views. We talked about the three different types of views and where to use each one. Duplicate view basically just duplicates the view without any detailing or annotation or dimensions. Duplicate with detail includes the model and all of the annotations, the dimensions, the text. And the third one was duplicating as a dependent, basically working the same as the second one, duplicating with detail, but it's a dependent of its parent. So if you add something to the parent, it's also now in the dependent, so they stay updated with each other.